Welcome back to another episode of Caps Off. We've been gone for about a month now, but I am so happy to bring back an episode with none other than a man that is a Super Bowl champion, a member of the Patriots All-2010s team, a Walter Payton Man of the Year award nominee, a freshman All-American in 2008, a player for a team that I absolutely hated growing up, former defensive tackle for the New England Patriots, Lawrence Guy. Welcome to Caps
Thank you.
Off,
You told me you love that team.
Dude, I cannot tell you how much I hated the New England Patriots.
That's not what you told me. You said you just putting this helmet on for the fans.
Yeah, the Dolphins one, that Dolphins helmet behind me, yeah, that's just, it's all for show. It's all for show.
That's what it is. You told me die hard, you as New England Patriots fans, and you were like, hey, I got a little small little decal at the house that you put on your fridge. It's cool.
It's fine.
We don't got to lie about it.
I am a Drake May stan right now, considering he's my fantasy quarterback, but outside of that, the Dolphins have absolutely nothing for me right now. Nothing. We were talking about the Dolphins a little bit off camera. I quoted Lawrence Guy saying, I feel badly for Dolphins fans right now. You said that.
I do. It's one of those things that is hard. I feel for you guys.
Yeah, I appreciate
they got to figure out what they got to do in that organization to be successful. You can't have 1 or 2 years and we're here. No, there has to be a consistency there. And it's just as ownership goes down to the coaches, it goes down to the players. And again, it's hard to play in Miami. We get it.
Yeah.
But it has to be an aspect of it. Like, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it.
I've always felt, just quickly, because I don't want to make this about the Dolphins, but I've always felt that it's actually not, my blame does not go to Stephen Ross. Stephen Ross has not, he's tried. He's cheated. He's tampered. He's done everything, right? Like, he's taking the means to try and build a winner. The issue has been Greer,
You
right?
mean he got caught?
He got caught. Exactly.
No, that's it. He just got caught.
He just got caught. Exactly.
Yeah.
The issue is Chris Greer, because the analogy that I would give is Stephen Ross is an incredibly successful real estate mogul, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if 10 years ago you got to say to a team, hey, I really want to build this amazing building in Miami. I think it's going to flourish, whatever. Here's the team that's going to build it in Miami. Mm-hmm. And then 10 years later, you look at that team and you ask them, why have you not been able to build the building? And he said, well, we just can't get it done. Well, what he's going to do, he's going to fire that team, and he's going to say, I'm going to bring in a team that could actually build the building that I want. It's the same thing with the Dolphins. If Chris Greer has been the general manager for 10 years, and you assigned him that role, and he hasn't brought you a playoff win in 10 years, you fire someone and bring someone in. You fire him, bring someone in that could actually get the job done. It's the same thing. Operate your team just like you would operate a business. Yeah, so it's Greer.
It's one of those situations. And I can say it's Greer. I can say it is Mike. You can say it's everybody.
Yeah.
Right. It starts at the top.
Totally.
So we can never forget it starts at the top. It starts at that ownership level.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it trickles down.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got to do something with that organization. They got to figure out what team works for them in the division that they're in and the conference that they're in. We see the same story with Jacksonville.
Yep.
We see it with the Titans now
Same
what
shit,
they were. Carolina, the Ohio teams. Not both Ohio teams.
Both Ohio teams.
team.
Yeah.
We saw it with the Chargers also for a while, but now you see they're up and back and going because they brought in a really good head coach that's going to build up the organization and the program. They're going to flourish. So they have to look at the mirror and like, what do we got to do to adjust? What we've been doing, and can we fix it? And we just can't forget the elephant in the room. Like most people say, some people are leaders on the field, some people are leaders off the field, some people are leaders in the locker room. You got to get that mixture together to improve the young guys. You guys had a team. I want to say you had
2 years ago?
3 years ago,
3 years ago. Yeah, when they put up 70 on the Broncos.
Yeah,
the Dolphins were doing the right thing, but look.
You can't keep every player,
You can't keep every player, but I would just say this, and you could speak on it more than anyone as a player in the NFL, but the trickle-down effect, if you remove the owner, is that you have a GM that hopefully can put guys in a position to succeed.
Correct.
But when the GM messes up, hopefully you have a really strong head coach that can overcome the deficiencies of the general manager. So once you have that trickle-down effect, now you have the head coach. But the head coach is typically going to make mistakes as well. Correct. So when the head coach has his deficiencies, usually you have a $50+ million quarterback that can make up for the deficiencies of the head coach. In the case of the Miami Dolphins, you now have deficiencies that cannot be made up across the board.
Line?
Well, the offensive line has been bad, but it's not been without trying on Greer's part. He's missed with, you have Patrick Paul, you have Jonah, he's missed. He missed with Liam Eichenberg. Yeah. He's brought in Tron Armstead, who hasn't been able to stay healthy, and obviously he's now gone. I don't disagree. You have to build the trenches up, but they tried building from the outside in rather than the inside out, and you can't do that.
You got to build up front. The Dallas Cowboys did that.
100%.
They built up front, and Dak had nobody but all-stars in front of him, and they were like, we're going to protect the quarterback.
Yep.
I'm not saying that they didn't try, but it was a way to do it. I wouldn't let Hunt go, for one.
Right.
Like, he was your enforcer on the offensive line. You keep him. But then again, I don't know what they have in the locker room, how they felt about that, the whole issue. But it's the same thing with Mike. When he came in from a true West Coast style, put a whole nother place out in the division and was taking over. Now people are adjusting to that.
Right.
And now you're like, what happened? Like, we adjusted to how you guys came in.
Right.
You can see it with every single division when somebody comes in with that new Shanahan West Coast style. They're not used to it for a while.
Yeah, they're not used to it.
And they just shoot out there when people are like, oh, we figured it out.
Yeah, we catch up.
And it keeps coming down. And you're like, okay, you have to adjust. But you also have to forget, if you're letting a player go in years past, don't bring that player back.
Yeah.
You let them go for a reason.
Yep.
Don't bring them back, pay somebody else to come in, get new fresh faces in there, build up the team, and say, hey, this is who we have, this is what we're going to be. It's a statement, right?
It's a statement, and it's also interesting how 2 years ago, when it was that high-flying offense, if you fast forward to where we are today, some of the most successful teams in the NFL outside of having a gunslinger quarterback in Mahomes and Josh Allen are coming from teams that are able to establish the run. And it's like 15 years ago, when you were kind of getting ready to go into the NFL, it's kind of where we're back at, right? It's not the high-powered offense. It's not the you need to throw it 75 yards down the field, Patrick Mahomes to Tyreek Hill that every single person wanted. So I don't know. I just think it's interesting, and I think you saw that with Miami when they played Atlanta, right? Miami, 100%. It was smash mouth, let's run the ball. So,
and that's what you do. Like, I think you said it perfect. The NFL goes through phases, right? When I got in, it's like, you got to have big people up front. You got to stop the run.
Yep.
Like, you got to. There were monsters at running back.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden you get the Saquons and you get the Derrick Henrys, you get the Chris McAfee, the background. Like, we're going to run the ball.
Yep.
Now you're like, oh, what do we do with Philly? That big offensive line with a running back that can run through you. And now you're like, oh, we need some more run stoppers that could do a little bit of both. And now you've seen they're having big nose tackles and have that pass rush / okay run stopper up there at the 3 technique. Then you got players like Jalen Carter that just could do it all.
And then Spitgate happens and he gets himself kicked out of a game.
That was wild. I don't know. I've been spit on once in my life.
You got spit on in a game?
In college. And I immediately, we went to field goal, and I threw haymakers to his rib, and I got a 15-yard penalty. And they couldn't. It was a rivalry game, so they ain't kicking nobody out the rivalry game.
Who was it, Arizona? Was it ASU Arizona game?
ASU Arizona in Arizona, in Tucson. And my coach, he looked at me. He started cussing me out. I said, he spit on me. And he just looked at me. I said, he spit on me in a not so nice way.
Right.
He was like, I understand.
Yeah.
I said, you just don't do it.
You just don't do it.
Oh, it's repercussions.
But also, like, Spitgate is I feel like spitting on someone and the Dak Prescott spit, I don't think he was trying to spit on Jalen Carter, but I think it was in the realm, and clearly those teams hate each other. But spitting on someone, especially in a game,
ultimate disrespect.
It feels like the most disrespectful thing you could do.
Hey, the problem I have with all that is, and as a player, I'm gonna take that fine. I'm gonna do everything I got to do.
You should beat the shit out of that person.
But the problem is, I'm looking at the offensive line.
Right.
If my quarterback just got spit on and nobody has no reaction, I'm looking at that like, bro, that was disrespect. I can't do nothing.
Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah.
But y'all can protect me.
Yep.
Now, if I see you again, I'm gonna put a target on your head and like, hey, what are we doing? We're taking him out every single time we can. He's gonna feel that the next day.
Right.
But they're just like, oh, what happened? I'm like, nah, bro. I want that old school offensive line that's going to come up in there. Like, I'll take that penalty.
Totally.
Like, I'm going to push you and do what, like, he spit on. You could try to justify it.
Yeah.
But they just let it happen.
Well, I just thought of this question off the top of my head because you just brought up something protecting the quarterback. When I think of the New York Giants right now, I think of a team that started with Russell Wilson and they switched to Jackson Dart. And immediately you see a shift. The talent, if anything, got worse because you lose a Malik Neighbors. Now they don't have Cam. But the talent actually is staying the same, but now they have a quarterback that they believe in. The offensive line is somewhat more invested in protecting that guy. Mm-hmm. Is there something to be said, in your opinion, from like the NFL's perspective, that when you truly do believe in the quarterback that's playing and lining up for you, that you do have that extra edge of playing harder? Like, the way I'd kind of phrase it is, the Giants were a team that no one was taking seriously when it was Russell Wilson. And then you kind of get Jackson Dart come in here, and now they're like, wow, they could upset the Chargers. Oh, wow, they can beat other teams. They beat the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. The talent's the same. If anything, the talent's worse. So I guess my question would be like, when you do go to a quarterback, when you believe in the quarterback that is snapping the ball, is there really that extra belief?
I think
regardless of talent,
a creature of habit,
right?
And if you have momentum, they build off them. Everybody says, "Oh, the momentum." Don't believe in. There's a lot of players that believe in the hype, believe in the momentum, and when you feel good, even when you lose, and then you feel good because you're getting some publicity, it makes people play harder. Because I think Russ is a good quarterback.
Yeah, I think he is good.
I think he has done so much in his career where he's been proven, he's been put in certain situations. Yeah. You're like, okay, I get it. But at the end of the day, I look at it, if you're offensive lineman, my whole perspective is to protect that quarterback no matter who it is. So when you turn on that TV, it's like, yeah, those might not be there, but that pocket is clean.
That pocket has to be clean.
Right? And he didn't like Scatterboot. My man, he got hurt. I was devastated because, hey, I talked to everybody, even people from Tucson, they were like, we became Arizona State fans because of Scatterboot. I'm like, because it's Scatterboot, bro.
Yeah,
and they brought that energy.
Yeah.
And that's what the team needs. It's energy.
Totally.
It's relationships. Because who makes a great team that could go against the odds is that family aspect of it. Now, if you have somebody behind you or somebody in front of you, like, I really don't want to play in that zone, you can see the chemistry.
That's kind of what I'm alluding to. You could feel it. You could see it. You could feel it, and it's translating into wins.
Yeah.
When a team is bought in, not only to the quarterback, they're bought into the coach. It's hard.
This is hard to play in New York.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard horror stories from people that played in New York. It's just hard. The fans are rough.
Yeah.
Like, everything's bad. So you got to get something. It's expensive.
Yeah.
Like, you got to get something going.
Well, you just said you've heard stories from people playing in New York. So do players feel the noise, the outside noise of playing in New York as much as us fans talk about it?
Coaches feel it more than anything.
Wow.
I talked to a coach. He was like, his wife was getting death threats. Or she shouldn't go to the store because they get screamed at or cussed at with their kids.
Yeah.
Like, New Yorkers are rough.
They're rough.
Like, I feel like I was blessed to be in Boston.
Yeah.
Boston.
You're also blessed to be a part of a dynasty.
Right? Like, Boston, like, you was a player there, they just respected you. There wasn't that, I can't say for everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, I've been there as a rival, and you're like, oh, God. But as a player, like, bro, like, I'm in Boston. It's great.
Yeah.
In New York, it's like, you do bad, like, you don't get letters to you. They don't find out everything.
100%. Playing in New York has to be so tough.
God, there's not many Broadway shows I could go to.
Yeah.
And you get cussed out in the back and like, hey, why did you make that tackle?
Yeah. If anything, they're going to go to the point where, like, why are you watching a Broadway show? Get your ass back in and watch some film. Like, you should not be enjoying life. But that's fans, I feel like, in general. We're assholes. Us fans 100%. Don't understand. We're fucking assholes.
100%. You ain't as bad as Buffalo fans or college fans.
You think Buffalo fans are bad?
They're terrible.
Whoa.
And again, I didn't play for Buffalo. Terrible.
But you played against them. See, like...
I have seen more ball sacks on the bus than anything I could ever experience. And I'm like, this would be an 80-year-old man, and he just has his balls just sitting there looking at you, flicking you off. And you're like, bro.
But then if you're theoretically a player of the Bills, are you saying to yourself, I love that shit? Because that's the level of fandom. You're 80 years old. I'm seeing a scrotum that is shriveled up and disgusting, and now that's what's being flashed.
What's his grandson flicking you off? And you're like, what are we doing? They're throwing us off on the field? I don't know. Like, I've talked to Deion Dawkins about it. He said, I love it out here.
Yeah.
I said, you haven't experienced it from my eyes, brother. I said, this is rough.
Yeah.
Like, the hotels are terrible. Like, everything's just bad. I feel for people that live in Buffalo.
I definitely feel for people. I had on Poyer about a year ago, right when he came to Miami, and one of the things that Poyer had said was that the thing that Buffalo players feel the most is when the winter comes and the temperature does drop. And that's one of the big reasons that Buffalo can't get over the hump, because the seasonal depression does hit incredibly hard. And so they actually can't get themselves up and can't get themselves ready to play quite like you would expect.
That's weak-minded.
I guess it's weak-minded. Yeah.
I can't say that because it's real.
Yeah.
It's so real. I remember I used to tell guys when they came come to New England, I said, look, we don't got windows here. We're in the stadium. So when you're in the stadium, it's exactly what it is. It's the stadium. The windows, there's no windows, there's walls. Green Bay's the same way.
It's warmer than it looks.
Yeah, but the problem is when you go in, I'm like, look, it's going to come a time a time you're gonna come in here, it's gonna be 20 degrees.
Yeah.
You're gonna come in and it's dark. You're gonna leave and it's dark. Get used to it.
Get used to it.
What I said, find some joy.
Yeah.
You know, play some cards in the locker room,
Yeah.
here in the hot tubs, because you're gonna come in dark, you're gonna leave dark,
Yeah.
it's gonna be cold. I said, if we win, it's gonna be great. And I'm like, what do you mean that December hit? I'm like, bro, I'm like, yeah.
Just get used to it. But
said,
it's easy
get
for
used
you.
to it.
It's easy for you when you're winning Super Bowls.
That's true.
It's very easy.
We had some dark years.
Yeah,
I'm
but
part of those dark years.
dude, I don't want to talk about dark years. I'm back in the dark years as a Dolphins fan, but I want to take it right back because I know you and I have been
dark years in Dolphins fan.
Well, I've always joked about this. The only thing positive that I have as a Dolphins fan occurred.
It's F1.
The stadium does look really good. Occurred when I wasn't even a thought in my dad's ball sack. That was 1972, the undefeated season. My dad hadn't even thought about having kids. I was swimming laps, Michael Phelps style. It didn't matter. So it's a fallacy to me. It doesn't make any sense. 1972 Dolphins, Don Shula, everything. Doesn't matter to me. I have nothing. I don't have a playoff win in my lifetime. So
You know, I told my buddy who's a Dolphin fan, and he's like, I said, the best thing y'all have is Ace Ventura.
so valid. And Dan Marino in Ace Ventura.
Yeah,
That's all we
what
get.
do you mean? I said, and I sent him memes,
Yeah,
and we're
yeah.
just going at it. He's like, really? I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, us
So I
Dolphins
meant it.
fans have nothing. We literally have nothing. But I want to jump it back because you retired 5 days ago.
Yes.
How does it feel? What's it been like?
It's amazing. It was a amazing opportunity and welcoming from the organization.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. I knew I was going to retire a Patriot. I tell people if I would have finished my 14th year in New England, I would have retired there. That was my year. And I was like, this is what I want to get to. A coach told me I was going to do 8 years in the league. I was like, I'm going to do 14. He said, what? I said,
You said
why?
you wanted to do 14.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And at one point, and then it switched back. I had a player come to me, and I think it was Jared Johnson. He was like, my goal is to get to 4 years.
Yeah.
He said, when you get to 4, then your goal is to get to 8 years. And when I got to 8 years, I said, it's 14 years. It's a possibility.
Crazy.
Then I got to year 11. I was like, I'm still moving strong, fluent. I said, I could do 14.
Yeah.
I said, it ain't bad. Then when I got to 13, I did that one couple of months. It must call get that 14th year.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't need this. I'm good.
Yeah.
And I always going to come back there, and they're family to me.
Right.
Like New England's family. My daughter was born up there. She doesn't know nothing but
New England. Right.
And my son's the same way. So when I got back, it was a welcoming from my kids and me, and
nice.
seeing people in the building and being the keeper of the light, that new tradition that is
Right.
super awesome.
Yeah.
And they get to say goodbye also.
Yeah, that's
Because
cool.
we was talking to somebody, I could walk away, put an Instagram post, hey, I'm retiring, and that's what it is.
But it's not the
leave.
same.
It's not the same when the family gets involved, and now they're like, we're here too.
Yeah.
We get to experience it. And like I said, I was blessed enough to do that in that place. And I'm just glad we won.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, bro, we would have lost. They would have never invited me back.
Yeah.
They're like, look, you bad luck. I'm like, no, we won. Now I'm good luck. Now you got to keep me.
After 14 years of living on football schedule, now that you're retired, what was that first morning like? That first peaceful morning without football being a part of your schedule?
Well, like so I remember this. I got back in November of last year when I left Cincinnati, and I was still waking up. Then I want to say we hit January, February, and I was like, look, I have so many stipulations for me to play. I was like, I need this, and this needs to be. I wasn't answering the call for certain teams, and they're like, cool. And I remember I got a call, and I was like, I'm just going to spend Christmas with the kids.
Yeah.
And I slept till like 8. I was like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, I kind of like this life.
And I was like, okay. Then my wife was like, yeah, you can't do school drop off. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm back up at 6.
Yeah.
I said, we'll go. But it's a relief.
Right.
Because you're like, in your mind, you're like, you're there. You're like, I got to get up. I got to do something.
Totally.
Then you realize it's like it's a little bit of change in environment.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay. But as my kid said, you get a little bit more calmer. You're not as high edge.
You're not as
Because
stressed.
when you're playing D-line, like you're at all times.
That was a great clap.
Oh, thank you.
That was a great clap.
I worked on it for years. Years. They were like, what you mean? I said, I worked out in the meeting room. And when you miss it, they go like that. And you're like, nah.
You got to hit it right hard.
You got to hit it right because when you explain yourself, and you're like, how you supposed to hit him?
Yeah.
You hit him like, oh, snap. You're like, yeah. I said, you like that? I said, I worked on that one.
You had to. So you had some quiet mornings, and it probably felt.
Yes.
I mean, that really occurred. I feel like for the first time 5 days ago when you did retire.
And it's more me, the kids, and everybody.
Yeah,
it gave everybody a relief of like, hey, we good. I had a great run. It was super cool. It's awesome. But then I got in at 1 a.m. and I was just like, yeah. I said, this was rough.
Yeah.
But I said, guess what? I could sleep in.
So I was going to say, I don't miss this. I get to wake in. Yeah.
And that's the best part. I think I need to cut down my coffee intake. I'm still 2 cups of coffee in the morning.
Dude, I'm 2 cups in the morning, 1 around 6 o'clock at night for work. And now it's just, I'm up till 2 in the morning. Just juice.
Oh, no, I don't sleep. No, so the sleep schedule is the hardest thing.
Right.
So when you're in it, like, you don't really sleep. So because if you think about it, right, you wake up around 6:30, 6:15, depending on who you are. I woke up at 6:30. You get to work on at 7:30. You had the first meeting at 7:50. Then you go to treatment, practice. As you get home, after your treatment, everything around 6. Then you have to do some more film. Then you got a little bit of kid time. Then your brain is just going. So you don't really sleep till 11. Then you wake back up. But now we have night games. We don't get done till 11. So you don't get to sleep around 1 or 2. So your sleep schedule is so jacked up.
Yeah, and the come down from a game or even film or watching the game. When you're in the league, are you staying up on those Thursday night football games, on those Monday night football games, or are you going to sleep, right?
Well, some people don't go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, look, I'm not paying attention to it because I was watching on iPad.
Right.
30 minutes on the iPad.
Yeah.
It's 3 hours on the TV. I'm like, bro, if you don't stop this,
you have to turn it up. Yeah, 100%.
And I'm like, but on the iPad, I'm like, because I'm only watching like a good amount of plays and a good amount of people. So my world is here. Yeah. So I don't care who catches the ball, what happens next. I'm like, next. All right, next. And like, it's just screen next. So I knocked that out so fast. And like, how'd you knock out the 5 games? I'm like, I'm not watching the whole play.
It. Yeah, 100%.
They were like, oh, you see he broke for a touchdown. I said, really?
I clicked off that.
I clicked off of it. They're like, you serious? I said, I don't got to worry about all that crap.
Now that you're no longer employed by the NFL and an NFL team, do you have a favorite team? Are you technically a Patriots fan? What is your allegiance to an NFL team right now?
I'm still a Patriots fan, you know. But the problem is I didn't grow up having a favorite team. My dad was a Cowboys fan, right? And I'm like, okay, so we watched the Cowboys. And I grew up in Vegas, so it's not like we had a team at home. Right. Now they're all Raider fans. Yeah. And like I get it, but like I didn't really care about all that. Now I just watched old teammates. I watched quarterbacks here around, like watch 3-4 games and see what's going on. But it's unique, right? Right. Because I know people like that. I'm a diehard this fan. Like, are you really? Yeah. And they're like, yeah. I said, how's it feel watching them playing against them? Oh, so excited. I said, I feel you. I don't got that.
Yeah, you don't have that.
Now I'm a Golden Knights fan though.
You see,
yeah, I said it.
I'm a Florida Panthers fan, so you took one from us, but now I've had the last 2. So
that's fine.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm not upset.
That's fine.
You're.
You're winning somewhere.
I'll take something, right? But I'll give these last 2 Stanley Cups in the Florida Panthers. I'll give you 2 NBA championships with LeBron. I just want the 06 one with the Heat. Solely to get a Dolphins playoff win. I will give all of that up for a Dolphins playoff win. I don't know what it feels like.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, 100%. And by the way, most Dolphins fans, I think, would say that around my age. They'd give those up. Lawrence, I'm curious.
You're going to 1 playoff game and lose? And like,
yes.
That's fine?
Well, no, 1 playoff win.
1 playoff win?
I need a playoff win.
Then you're just going to win and lose?
Yes, I'll do. If the Miami Dolphins gave me a playoff win, that would feed me for generations. Generations. I would go a decade.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. You don't understand. We don't know what it feels like. We don't have anything. Lawrence, like I said, you're kind of a Patriots fan, I guess. But I
ain't a Jets
fan. Who would you say through 9 weeks are the top 5 teams in the NFL, in your opinion?
Oh, God. Well, Indy's over there rolling right now. Yeah. Patriots are rolling right now.
So would you put not in, it doesn't have to be in order, but you'd say the Patriots are in that 5?
They're going right now. And it's tricky because what is it? It's October. Right. So it starts switching. Yeah. Right? Around the middle of November.
Yeah, now we're going to see if the Colts are for real. Are we going to see?
Is it going to be a big turnaround? And that's the problem with the NFL. So when people are like, what are the top 9 or top? It's hard until after Thanksgiving.
Totally.
Then after Thanksgiving, it could flip.
Right.
It could change. I mean, in 18, we were probably the worst team in the NFL. We lost to everybody.
Yeah.
But then it flipped. Then like you get a win here, win there, win there. We're talking about the Giants. They did it in 2011.
Right.
They did it before that. And you're like, they just flip and they just dominate. So it's hard. But like, oh, well, this got the best quarterback. This got the best this. Like the Chiefs are now coming back up out of nowhere. And they're like, oh, it's the NFL. And it's in. And I was one of them. I was like, look, this might be the last ride for them.
Yeah.
And then they're like, look, boom, we're going to switch it. We're going to ride it up. Then you got teams that have hurt quarterbacks. Well, if their quarterback does come back, does it change everything,
the
right? The Ravens come in like, oh, it's going to change everything. And they're going to build back. So it's just one note. It's hard to put top this, top that. I just think those two teams right now are rolling. Right. And those two teams are getting better. And like I don't see them stopping. But again, November hits, it's dark when you come in, and it's dark when you leave. And it gets
darker. So then take what you've seen of the 9 weeks. You get the Chiefs and the Patriots. Who are those other three teams, would you say, in your top of the mind?
I got Philly in there still.
Philly's got to be in there. I think that's three.
Philly got to be there. The Broncos got to be in there because they're going. Yeah, they're going. I feel like they're up and hill, and they could just keep going. Right. They could have their losses and wins, but I feel like they're going to be in the playoffs. Yeah. And that's going to be down to what it is. Then don't forget about the Chargers. Like I'm a fan of hardball. Yeah. I feel like he's going to go in there and it's just going to boom. And oh, okay. I feel like they're going to be in that opportunity to make the playoffs.
So we left out the Lions. We left out the Colts. We left out the Bucks. There's the AFC I feel like is slowly creeping.
Indy's the Colts.
Oh, you said Indy. You didn't say, I thought you said the Chiefs. Andy Reid.
No, Indy.
Oh, dude.
You said Indy like 3 times. You said Andy?
I thought you said Andy.
No, I said Indy.
Oh, man. And the Colts are for real, man.
Yeah, Indy's there.
Yeah, wow.
Now, you see it. That's what I'm saying. They're one of those. But then again, like I said, November starts hitting and all that. That's the same thing with the Lions and the Vikings last year. Right. Like nobody knew that was going to happen. Right. But it's like you got two teams that is just going. Yeah. Like I like what Calvin Shepard's doing in Detroit. They're going. But what happens in that December? What happens when we get into that January? Like I love I feel like they're a strong pretender. I feel like they're going to do it. Yeah. But are we going to have another incident like, oh, we're done so fast? Right. Yeah. Right. So I don't want to ride a train. I want to ride it and see what's going on. And then after Thanksgiving, I'm like, oh yeah, this is the real shaping. Yeah, this is real shaping.
100%.
Like I had a feeling the Vikings they're going to go far in the playoffs. Yeah. I don't know what it was in me. I was just like, they're not going to go far in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's just something. It's a lack of, and this is not saying because I love Kevin O'Connell. This is not to say that they lacked grit. It just felt like playoff grit is very different, and that was something that like a Dan Campbell could establish. Yes. Now you have the Dan Quinns that came out of left field and being able to do it, but I get what you're saying. I think right now through 9 weeks, you're seeing these teams that they've been really, really good, but over these next 4 weeks, when you get into November, we're going to find out.
Come talk to me in 4 weeks, and I'm like, oh, these are the top teams. I feel like they're going to do something. They're going to continue to do it. Yeah. And like I said, I'm a B-Flow fan. Yeah. They're one of the best coordinators I have. I know you guys hate him, but I'm a B-Flow fan. And what he's done at that organization for that defense, it's been incredible. And what they added on that D-line, I'm like, bro. Yep. Like you get Hargrove out, he playing the way he should have played when he was in San Fran. You have to get Allen that came from the Commanders. He's out there, they're doing it. I'm like, bro, I said, you built a team. And this is what you guys are doing to like, oh yeah. No, we understand what's happening on the offensive side. We get that. Yeah. But on that defensive side, they was doing it to go win that playoff. Totally. They're like, this, we're changing it, we're going to win.
100%.
Now there's some setbacks now.
You mentioned the Eagles in the top 5. As a defensive tackle in the NFL, as a former defensive tackle in the NFL, what do you do with the tush push?
I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's not. I compared it to field goal block because you couldn't push nobody into the offensive line because it was a dangerous thing, right? So they got rid of it.
Right.
I'm like, cool. We couldn't hit a snapper because it's head of time. We got rid of it.
Yeah.
You're not going to get rid of the tush push because they feel like it's too dangerous. You're going to get rid of the tush push because they can't regulate the offsides. And that's the biggest problem.
It's a competitive disadvantage.
100%.
Yes.
So when people are like, oh, they can't stop. Yeah, you're right. You can't stop it.
Yeah.
I definitely can't stop it if he's jumping on the right guard or if he's jumping at the left guard.
Right.
That's the ultimate thing. And that's what everybody keeps saying is offsides.
Right.
Can you call the offsides? You can't. So if you can't call the play and it shows up every single time that they're offsides, you got to get rid of it because it's like, well, what do you do? Because if I jump the snap, you could see me immediately.
Yep.
You're like, oh, he jumped the snap, he stopped it, but you would never call on the offensive lineman. Like, look at most goal lines.
Yep.
They're jumping that snap. That right tackle or that right guard is going to jump that snap consistently. Like the Cowboys were good at it. I never forget the left tackle. I'm on the goal line in New England, and he jumped the snap, and I was like, bro.
Who was it? Tyron Smith?
No, it was the right tackle. I'm sorry, it was the right tackle. What was his name?
McGovern? No,
I forgot his name. I remember I put an elbow in his chin one day because he was messing with Kyle Duggar. And he was like, what you do? I said, bro, you don't mess with the DBs. He said, what? And they laughed at me.
Right.
I literally jumped over the pile and put my elbow into his face. And my whole sideline looked at me and started dying. He said, what happened? I said, he messed with Doug.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are we doing? They scored.
Right.
I said, my elbow and his face is going to hurt.
Jesus.
But he jumped it.
Yeah.
He knocked me down to the ground. I looked at my linebacker. I said, I'm going low.
Yeah, so there's nothing you can do. I mean, you saw Brian Flores. We were just talking about him trying to put someone down there to stop momentum. But I guess the only thing to do with the tush push is to ban it because it has become a disadvantage for the defense. Not because they're not stopping.
It's the offsides.
It's the offsides.
That's how you have to do it. It's the offsides on it. If you can't regulate the penalties, you can't do it.
Yeah.
Or you just be smart and put a heavy offensive lineman at quarterback.
Right.
Or that strong D tackle at quarterback and just push him through. It's an ultimate win.
100%.
If somebody else did it.
Right.
If I'm an NFL team, I'm doing a tush push.
Yeah.
Every single time when I'm short, low, and I'm going to put that big dude up there at the quarterback, make him eligible, and we're going to push him through until they're like, well, this is not fair.
Right.
I'm like, nah, not fair. We're going to just do it.
Yeah.
Make me stop doing it.
I think it's, I don't know. I feel like us fans have become very frustrated by it, but I don't think all of us know why we're frustrated, and I think you just
can't stop it.
But you conveyed it really well. Like, I think the idea that it's not even that we can't stop it. We can't stop it because we no longer know how to judge the actual count of it. We don't know when it's coming. And because of that, that naturally puts a disadvantage on one side of the ball, which is fully against the rules. It has to be 100%. Even on both sides. And I think that's an interesting perspective.
That's the only way you could get a ban is you just say, look, we can't regulate the offsides.
Yeah.
Like they should have banned the Omaha call when I was with the Chargers and getting this Peyton Manning. Like, he called Omaha 4 different things to a point you're like, bro, just don't listen to Omaha. He'll get you.
He'll get you. I want to jump back. I want to go to when you got into the league because you entered the league as a 7th round pick. That's a long shot, right?
Yeah.
Like a 7th round pick is a super tough long shot. But finally getting to the league and finally getting an opportunity and then being put in a position where your season is cut short due to a concussion, how did that affect you emotionally? And the reason I ask that is we see rookies right now. Marion Hampton, his season's being cut short a little bit with the injury. You have Cam Scatterbo, we were talking about briefly. When you work your entire life to get to this moment and then it's cut short, how do you react to that emotionally? What does that do to someone who's worked their entire life? Yeah.
No, it sucks when people get put in that situation because there's nothing you can control.
Right.
Right. And especially in being in Green Bay, it was a adjustment when that happened. Mentally, I was out of it. So I was like, mentally, I was just like, what?
Yeah.
But from there, I was fine. Like that year alone was probably the toughest because of the coach that I had. Right? He was one of those old school. You don't say nothing in my meetings. I stayed in Green Bay.
Yeah.
So I stayed to try to learn. It wasn't like, hey, that coach said, hey, you're staying. I'm gonna make sure I can teach you everything there is about football. Nah.
Yeah.
That was probably the most difficult part. that as I got older and got with different coaches, I could see how much they cared about certain people, even if it was the IR. Clarence Brooks was one of them. He had 2 kids on IR for 2 years,
right?
And he was giving them tests. Hey, you want to do this? Let me say this. Let's learn. And because he's like, because when you get healthy, we're going to make sure that you're ready to play. I didn't have that coach, right? I had a coach that looked at me and said, I never watched a college film. I don't care about you, et cetera. And I was just like, that was the hardest part. It wasn't like, hey, you wasn't doing that. It was the simple fact that when you get into the NFL, you think that every coach has your best interest.
And they don't. They have their own interest.
They do. And like I found out the following year when he drafted 2 people that he wanted.
Right.
And he's like, these are the people I wanted.
Yeah.
And I think Anthony Hargrove, how to destroy his last name, he was there and he looked at the whole situation. He's like, not every NFL coach is like this.
Right.
Man, he's like, you just got to find a better situation. And I understood that at that point, but it was that first time I realized I was just like, it ain't me.
Yeah.
So that's probably the hardest thing. And I tell rookies when they come in, depending on your situation, who your coach is, I said, it could be worse. And I showed that experience. I had a coach that didn't want me there.
Right.
And he flat out told me that in front of people. And like my buddy Mike Daniels was like, I'm still in disbelief.
Yeah.
This man told a 21-year-old rookie on IR everything he did. He said it was so unprofessional and disrespectful for you in the organization. And when I talked to other people in the organization at that time, and like Elliot Wolf, and because he was in Green Bay too, and I told him that he didn't do that.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I said, I could call people about this.
Yeah.
It's wild. So that's probably the hardest part.
Interesting.
And that's why when I got older and I saw kids in that situation, young men in that situation that get hurt, I was the first person, how's it going? What's going on? Because I understood it's bigger than that.
Totally.
Like it's bigger than the game. It's can you come back next year and improve? Can you come back and like, hey, I'm in it to go ahead and just knock it out and do this? And if you get that player that buys in and like, hey, you want some questions, come ask me. Or the coach says, hey, let's watch film before the meetings because I want you to pick up on something just in case you come back earlier or you come back, have the opportunity in training camp.
Yeah.
We want you to be ready with the playbook and this and that. Then it changes. So, but that perspective right there changed everything for me. So I was like, look, I'm going to make sure nobody gets put in that situation like I got put in that situation. Wow. I'm going to do it the right way by people. Yeah. And that's what got me my rookie year. And I was like, hey, when I left, I was like, I'm gone. And I'll never forget. He was like, man, we was growing. I said, did you forget what you said to me?
Yeah, you must have. But by the way, it doesn't shock me because I feel like you have so many of these coaches that have to interact with so many different players and give them different means of communication. And so in a way, I'm willing to bet now that you've gone through such a successful NFL career, you have a different level of forgiveness for what that coach was probably trying to do to you, or do you not? Like, were you...
Oh no! You should,
or is it fuck him?
It took some time. I'm telling you, hey,
you almost ruined my fucking career.
Hey, it was bad. In year 12, if you would ask me how I felt, I went all in. Year 13, you'd ask me how I felt. Oh, bro, last year, and people say, but then I was like, look, that does nothing for me. Yeah. At this point, DeMarcus Covington looked at me. Yeah. And we were sitting, I think I was coming out of year 10, and he was like, and we was talking about this whole situation. Yeah. He said, I think you're going to mature enough one day where you ain't going to say how you truly feel. Right. And I was just like, nah.
Yeah, no, I'm not getting
I'm not doing it. Yeah. He gave me that drop of the head, and I was just like, look, bro, it's different because I had to experience it. But I'm at the point now that I can say whatever I want to say, but it wouldn't matter how I feel about it because somebody might like him, another person might like him, and might not have that same relationship with him. So it's cool. So I could say it in a nicer way. I feel like in that time it wasn't appropriate. Right. And what he did was a young kid. It wasn't just me. It was multiple people. Totally. And I feel it's appropriate to say like he put a disadvantage to the organization and to the players because when you come as a young 100%. Man, like you're like, hey, it's a lot. Yeah. Yes. It was back in the day, so we had to wake up at 6:30. 6 o'clock workout. Get there. Get home around 10, 11. I came out during a lockout, so it was a lot going on. And then as you get older and the game slows down for like it did for me, I realized you got home life, you got football life,
Yeah, it's a lot.
you got a lot going on. So mentally, I got tough enough fast,
Right.
but I had veterans help me throughout my journey. And I'm like, this is what it's about. Then
Yeah.
you meet a real good coach.
Yeah.
Don Johnson was a really good coach. I never forget Buddy looked at me, and I'm a my brother's keeper type guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, what does that mean? I said, look, I'm not gonna sell you out. I said he ain't gonna sell you out. I said he is so. And he pointed at the coach. I said, oh God. I switched to Charger. I was like, he's doing what? He said he's lying to you. I was like, I appreciate it. And he was one of the coaches that told me what's happening on behind the scenes. Because he was like, yeah, it's all fun and games. I said, but that's not how he got here. And I'm like, I said, I feel it. But it was just one of those, and like you realize not every coach is meant for you.
Totally.
And it's in that path. So I was like, look, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I wish I had a better experience.
Yeah.
That was a great organization. And
they were coming off a Super Bowl.
Yeah. The players were great.
Yeah.
But the facility, everything, the athlete was first. It was a great organization.
Yeah.
I wish I had the experience that other people had in that organization. But I'm not the same person. I know multiple players that played from those years that couldn't stand Buddy. And I know coaches that couldn't stand Buddy.
It's different.
Like it is different.
Yeah, I think it's like it's how you react to someone is completely. Someone else might have a completely different relationship to what that person is saying to them. You know, like it's everyone has different needs and different things that need to be met.
Now, when we go off air, I can tell you how I really feel.
Yeah. So wait, you go to so you're on the Packers. You spend that year. Unfortunately, you're on IR because of concussion. You then get picked up off waivers from the Colts.
Following year.
The following year.
Following year, they moved up, drafted the second round and the fourth round. And so this is what I'm saying. I understand somebody don't like you. Like, I didn't get no training camp practices.
Right. They didn't give you a chance.
They didn't give me no chance. Yeah. I barely played in the preseason. Probably how so you're getting released in Green Bay. You played the fourth preseason game. No, the fourth preseason game.
Yeah.
And you played the last 2 minutes.
Right.
So I didn't get no reps.
You didn't get time. You didn't get an opportunity.
I never forget Buddy. We're going back to Buddy. We're playing against the Chargers. My buddy played for the Chargers.
Yeah.
Two buddy played for the Chargers. And when you're young, you put stand behind the coach. Probably in this third quarter, I stand behind the coach. I was like, oh, somebody get hurt. He bumped into me, and he screamed at me. And he was just like, hey, you will never play in this game. You wasn't ever going to play in this game. And I'm on the sideline like, I'm like, bro, this was Anthony came in there. Anthony came in there, and I did something. And Anthony was like, if you ever do that, you'll never play in this game again. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, don't do it. But that's what it was. I was on special teams. I did it all because I realized I was against the wall at that point. But I got put on practice squad because they kept somebody else. So the third week, I got the call to go up. And I was like, cool. So I'm about to go up to Indy, and they're all looking at me like, oh, you should stay. I said, he didn't tell you what he told me.
Yeah, he didn't tell. Yeah.
So I went up to Indy, and I did that for the rest of that year. Started a couple of games at nose guard.
Yeah.
Had a good group of people. Corey Ridding was there. He was an amazing leader. G was at the D-line coach at Freeney, Mathis. So it was a great room.
Group, yeah.
Then when Chuck came back, and Chuck got like, we're going to do this, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
And Gregson is blaming Chuck. Chuck is blaming Gregson. And I just kind of caught the crossfire. Then I sat for 3 weeks when they released me the following year, and I came back, blocked the field goal, a couple of batted passes.
Impact, yeah.
Hey, to this day, Pat McAfee about that. When I got released, he'll tell you, he said, bro, I never seen somebody had a game like you had and get released the following day. I said, it's not about talent.
But that's the NFL.
It's about who likes you.
Yeah. That's the NFL for you. You mentioned Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee was on that team. You also had Andrew Luck, who had just been drafted on that team. Were there any, because those are two stars that deal with pressure and personality in such different ways. Was there anything that you had learned from the pressure that Andrew Luck had and the personality that Pat McAfee had that would later teach you things that you would be able to use in New England?
Like I said, I had Corey Ridding there. He played for years. He was a great mentor to me when I was there. But I had so many players. It wasn't this one thing. Pat is just a typical special teams guy, have a great personality, looked out for everybody. That's just what he was.
Right.
But I had great individuals throughout my career. Like I said, I can't name them all, but in my D line room alone, I had Corey Ridding. Right, I went to San Diego. I had Dwight Freeney.
Yeah, Dwight Freeney and
post Indy.
Yeah.
So it's totally different
Totally
person.
different.
And I was like, oh, bro, this is elite.
Yeah.
Then when I got to Baltimore, had Chris Canny, we had Haloti.
Yeah.
Like we had players, and Jarrett Johnson, who was the outside linebacker, great players that helped mold me and get me into the point. Like I tell people, Baltimore taught me how to play real football.
Yeah.
Small football. New England let me flourish to a point where I am today.
Right.
And it was from those experiences, right?
Totally.
Like you meet different players, different aspects, different.
Well, you're picking and choosing a little bit, right? You're picking from each organization things you like, things you don't like.
It's great.
And you're learning your own leadership style in the process.
Amazing. Like Terrell Suggs taught me how to write my notebook.
Yeah.
Elvis Dumerville let me say, this is how we want to get stuff done. Yeah. It's just certain things happen. And that's why I tell people, I was talking to a young man last year, and he's like, why are you so helpful? I said, I want to be a part of your legacy more than anything, because one day you're going to look back and say, hey, he did this for me when he didn't have to.
Right. And
it doesn't matter how far you're going. You can play 1 year in the league, you made it.
Yeah.
The statistics of you making it to the league 100%. Is slim to zero,
100%.
like 0.05%
Yep.
of you making it. And now you get that shot, I want to be that person like, hey, he helped me.
And I think it goes back to what you dealt with your first year. From
100%.
a coach's perspective, you were right. You want to be able to, like, if someone was able to pull you aside and give you the guidance, who knows what would have happened in Green Bay? Who knows what your career could have looked like in a completely different way, right? So you want to be the impactful one, right?
Correct.
You want to be the person.
That helpful hand,
force that change.
Somebody did it for me.
Yeah.
So you're going to do it for me, I'm going to do it for them. That's what I said. That helped mold me to when I got to New England.
Right.
I knew what it was. And it was a great group of guys there, too.
Yeah.
Like, it was hilarious playing there. We had a great time. Winning doesn't help it. You know, winning was amazing. I lost Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl, won the playoffs, then went to playoffs, had great years, had bad years.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster, but it's like, bro, it's better than the Dolphins.
All right, don't do that. We're not taking shots. All right,
I did it. I said it was just better than the Dolphins.
We don't need it. Why am I catching strays in the act? I'm curious before we jump to New England though, because obviously you go Green Bay, then you go Indianapolis, then you go to San Diego. That's 3 years in the NFL, 3 different teams, up and down, and then you kind of get an opportunity to go to Baltimore. And Baltimore, like you just said, is a place that you really were able to like have an impact, and it felt a little bit more like home, given how the first couple years had went. But that Baltimore team was also coming off a Super Bowl in a way, right? A year later, they were coming off a Super Bowl.
2 years earlier, they had a Super Bowl.
They had a Super Bowl. So now that's 2 opportunities in your career, which is incredibly rare, where in Green Bay, a team's coming off a Super Bowl, you get put into that organization. Now you go to Baltimore, 2 years later, you're with an organization that just won a Super Bowl. I feel like as someone that's no longer in the league, you can speak on the idea of a Super Bowl hangover so much more than other people. Is that post-Super Bowl emotional letdown a real thing?
It's hard because I was in New England. It's a little bit different.
That is true.
I was in New England, so it's like
But this is before you went to New England, so you probably learned things on your own. Like, and the reason I ask that is because I look at the Eagles right now and things that are happening with A.J. Brown. So I'm curious, as fans talk about Super Bowl hangovers, and as someone that's been a part of organizations, are Super Bowl hangovers real?
Yeah, they're real. The best thing I ever heard said was, people live their lives to go to one Super Bowl and be happy with it. We're trying to live our lives to go to multiple Super Bowls and not be satisfied. And you can hear that out. And people like Jacksonville went to the AFC Championship in 2000. What was that? 17 when we went.
Yeah, with Blake Bortles.
Yeah, did they go back?
No.
And that's they lived on that. Like, we had one hot year.
100%.
Like the Rams did that. Yep. They had one really good year, went to the Super Bowl, then they had the down years. Yep. They came right back having a Super Bowl, and they're having those down years. Sometimes that's good enough for teams. And remember, it's hard.
It's hard
to get to the Super Bowl. But sometimes that's the reality. Coming off a Super Bowl is hard because you're playing in February, right? Then so you get done and you're back at it in April, in mid-April. Then it's difficult. You have injury, you have non-injuries. You have to pay certain players. Totally. So now you're losing certain talent. It's just one of those things is you got to work through something. And you see it, and people ask why the Chiefs, right? Why the Chiefs keep going back? Why the Chiefs are doing so good? Because you saw people that did it for the team. You saw people that were like, look, I'm going to get mine when I get mine.
Team first.
And they built that. Now they started paying on everybody. Now people got to go. But in reality, they're team first. They're working away, and that's the mentality there. Yeah. That's how you keep going back to back. You're like, look, we're not happy. We got to keep going. We're going to have our games.
Yes.
We're going to see that opportunity here and there. But yeah, there is such thing of it. Like when I got to the Ravens, and like I didn't get that hangover because they were like, hey, our goal is to be the number one defense in the league.
Right.
Bottom line, no matter what happened. You put that tape on it, like, hey, we're going to smack you in the mouth. We're going to be the best defense out there, and we had to be the best field goal block team because the whole field goal block team was defense.
Yeah,
so we got to do this. This is our opportunity. It was a mentality behind it.
Right.
So that's the same thing we had in New England. Like, it was a mentality behind it. Like, if we don't go all the way, but we're going to be the best at something.
Right. Interesting. So yeah, even if you don't go all the way, we need to pride ourselves on something.
We got to do something.
Yeah.
And if it's special teams, offensive line, we had to do it as a unit. You can't have one individual say, well, I'm the best. I say, yeah,
totally.
This ain't basketball.
Yeah.
One player can't take over a game.
Yeah.
It got to be someone giving them the ball, somebody taking the ball away.
Of course.
Or clocking management. Something it's a team effort. If it was, then go ahead and shoot 43 throws.
100%. So you now have that stint in Baltimore. Now we get to the fun stint. Now we get to the real stint. You get to New England. You sign a 4-year deal. Yeah. All right? You arrive in New England. You're pretty much walking into a dynasty. You had Gronk. You had Brady. You had Edelman. You had Trey Flowers. You had Stephon Gilmore. Like, what was your welcome to the Patriot way moment that made you realize how different this organization was?
So me and Gilly came in at the same time. And hey, bro, we got yelled at so much in meetings. It was unreal. I looked at Steph. I was like, bro, I don't think he likes us. I said, they paid you a crap ton of money.
Well, who was it? Are you saying Bill or DC at the time?
The DC.
Who was it? Was it Matt Patricia? Yeah.
And that's what's his coaching style. And I was like, cool. And I come back to that a little later on. But we went to OTAs and many. I'm like, this is it? They're like, yeah. I said, we ain't doing nothing. We're doing pass all the time. They're like, yeah, but we're running. And when I was like, the running is hard. I said, this ain't nothing. I said, in Baltimore, we was doing a goal line, short yardage, and with no helmets on. We're already fighting. Right. Their belief is 4 fights a day. And I'm like, okay. So he wanted to see the violence. I'm like, I got here. I was like, what finesse? I said, this ain't, bro, we got to training camp. I said, a lot. I said, this is hard.
Yeah, wow.
Hey, he ran us to the dirt. Then we had to run those hills. I'm like, we're doing short. I never forget, we had to hit the 10, 11th man sled. 100 yards. Everybody's just pushing it because something happened that he didn't like. We're doing short yardage, half line. We're doing all this stuff, and we didn't even start practice. Yeah. I think then we got to start practice. And I said, this is difficult.
There's nothing that will humble you quite like conditioning.
Oh, God.
So it's like funny where in Baltimore, it's like we want to be physical. We want to establish the trenches. We're going to kick your ass. It's like, cool, that's great and all. But when push comes to shove, is that something you could fall back on? No. Something you can fall back on when you're in New England. Conditioning is something that will beat your ass.
He ran you to the dirt. Then we did the physical part because he was like, look, it means nothing if you can't be physical tired. I was like, I said, I got what you're doing. He said, look, when everybody in December, when everybody starts tired and beat up, we're still moving because we're lifting heavy, strong. So we're still running the hills. We're doing that. We had to play in a practice in the blizzard. Yeah. -2 in the stadium. We're out there practicing. He said, we ain't taking the day off. Yeah. I got it later on. But, hey, when we went to that first 2 days of training camp, I was like, bro, this is real.
Yeah, that's real.
And I remember Devin McCourty looked at me. He said, yeah, you ain't saying all this. Baltimore's hard. This is this. And I said, nah, they tricked me. I said, OTAs. And I tell people when they came in, I said, OTAs and minis are easy, bro.
Yep, it's different.
I said, it's this condition. I said, when we get to training camp, it's going to get real.
It's going to get real.
And we were rolling. And it was hot, and it was difficult. And it was coming to a moment, I was like, everybody's doing it. It's a standard that we had there. And I was like, okay, I get that now. I said, this is the difference between the organizations of what he's trying to do. This is an old school football way. Right. Like, we're going to break you to a point that you break, then we're going to build back up, and we're going to keep going. So when you get to the hard point, you're like, I can't do it no more. It's like, I've been there already.
It's also like I think you just nailed it on the head. You build whatever you thought the baseline was, whatever you thought the ground was, we're going to break that. We're going to show you can go deeper because once you can go deeper, you could also climb back out of that.
It's unreal. Like, I tore my bicep going into the fourth preseason game. It was just hanging on. and I was just sitting there, and I was like, hey, I woke up. No lie, I can't tell you when it happened.
Right.
I woke up.
Yeah.
I was like, shit. I went to the trainer. I said, I can't move my arm. They said, well, I said, I don't know. They said, you might tore your bicep. I said, so casually.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I finished that season.
Yeah.
And they were just,
with a torn bicep?
Yeah. And they were like, hopefully it just snaps off.
Yeah.
And which means I did cortisone every 4 weeks in the shoulder just to move it. And that's what I said. I was already getting yelled at.
Yeah.
And I remember going into Brandon Daly's office. He brought me in and said, you're playing Tim. I said, well, my biceps is torn. It's hanging on it's coming off the bones. It's hanging on.
Said, I don't care. Get back in.
I said, I can't really do it. And he's just like, well, and I said, I'm not getting yelled at. He said, well, if you're going to get yelled at, you might as well do what you want to do. I said, well, he said, just do it in a scheme where it makes it look good.
Yeah.
And he said, just play.
Yeah.
And from there, I was just going and just playing a little bit more freer, got the injection, it felt better. And they're like, oh, it was a big turnaround after that game. I said, it was a huge turnaround. He just told me, if you're going to get yelled at, you might as well get yelled at for your own way.
Yeah.
And I did it in the way of the system. And it was an awesome experience of a coach saying, like, this is what it is. But we know you can do better. We've seen you do better. Just do it.
The Patriot way is playing with a torn bicep.
Oh, God.
that's what it is.
You should say, I broke my thumb in the Super Bowl, too.
Geez. The 2018 one?
Yeah, the 17.
The 17 one. Well, is that the Rams?
Yeah.
17,
no, it's the Philly.
Oh, okay, the Philly, yeah.
Yeah, broke it. Snapped it in the first series of the third quarter. Snapped it. Boom.
Yeah.
And I taped it up. And I was like, hey, if we don't win this, nobody's going to care. I had a torn bicep and a broken thumb. And I'm like, man, that sucks.
Dude, that 2017 you lose. That's Philly, right? The Philly special. Then you go 2018 with the Rams.
When we practiced it 5 times in practice, we knew what was coming.
Dude.
It's just a person that was that, you know what they say, mental reps? That was a mental rep that person should have took on the sideline. Because we did it 5 to 6 times. And like, they're going to run it. And when they ran it, that one person should have just went. I talked to Torrey Smith about this. He said, I was open in the field. I said, they wasn't looking for you, bro. He said, if he'd have took that mental rep, that play would never happen. Like, Ernie knew that.
Yeah, he knew it was coming.
He's like, it's coming.
Because I know we're coming up on time. We talked briefly on New England, but now you see New England of today with Mike Vrabel, right? The energy is still there. The player coach is still there. The culture feels like it's still there in a way. But what stands out to you about how Vrabel's connecting with players and fans today that reminds you of the New England that you were a part of?
Well, we have to look at the player aspect of it, right? Ain't nothing better when somebody comes on there and says, hey, run this drill with me. Bill used to do that all the time, too. Yeah. And I remember with him walk through in the virtual room, and I jumped off sides in a walkthrough. Yeah. And he said, what the fuck you doing? I said, I got excited, bro. I thought I could hit you, and I was like, I'm just going to do it. Yeah. And got the whole room cracking up. But that energy right there, the joyfulness, and Mike brings that back in there. Totally. Yeah, they're like, look, we're gonna run through this. We're going to do it. They have a good wide receiver, got a good running back. Yeah. They're bringing in cultures where they're like, we're bringing the fun, but it's still going to be difficult. Totally. We're gonna work, but we're gonna have personality doing it. We're gonna enjoy that, and that's why I saw, like, through the game, through the media, I'm like, look, we could be super critical about that. Yeah. And we could say every negative thing that's going on up there. Yeah. Or you could see them bonding on the field. Didn't they just do a Key and Peele skit for the touchdown? It was elite. Yeah. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. You like, look, you don't see nobody say, why are you doing that? Like, totally. That's what you want. You want to see everybody into one. Right. Because you're going to work hard. Yeah. But you're going to enjoy it. You're enjoying the brotherhood that we always talk about people have. That's why I said if my quarterback got spat on, my offensive line better do it, because that's my brother right there that we're playing for. It's a disrespectful thing. 100%. Same thing over there. They're doing it together as a family, and they're going to continue to. Who cares how far they go? But they're doing it next year. They're going to do it. They're going to have fun. They ain't going to go home like, oh no, man, it was him. No, they're like, no, it was us. It's building blocks for. It's a foundation that is irreplaceable. Is what it sounds like, and that's why the Dolphins fucking blow. Because we don't have that. We're coming up on time, but I want to ask 2 things, and I do this with every single person. It's kind of more of like a social game, right? So I call this a Fast 5. So this is Lawrence Guy's Fast 5. I'm going to ask you a set of 5 fast-hitting NFL questions, and I want you to spit out whatever comes off the dome, okay? All right. Number 1, what was your favorite place, or where was your favorite place you ever played? Pittsburgh, fourth quarter.
Terrible towels moving in.
Oh, bro, it was so elite. The Renegade gets playing. Palomalo was there. Akizo was there.
Yeah.
Bro, you'd be like, I'm like, oh. I said, we got something like that?
Yeah.
This is dope.
Can we do that? Can we get a towel in New England?
Hey, it was so, I tell people all the time, that it's probably the best. A night game, lights are flickering. Hey, it's probably the best experience you got.
What's the hardest NFL stadium you've ever played in?
Oakland.
The Coliseum.
No, Oakland.
Wow.
In Oakland, like, you're playing on dirt. It's a baseball field.
Oh, you're saying the baseball fields.
The baseball field. Like, it was, I hated it. Like, I never forget, I'm mid-play. Me and the tight end, he's teaching me how to plant my foot. He knew the ball was going that way. I knew, I was like, his ball must be going. He knew I couldn't even get off the ball.
Yeah.
It was so difficult. The locker room was trash. Everything was trash about it. And I went in the meetings the next day, and the coach was like, look at this. You guys have never played. I said, I think the baseball field got solid for us, coach. He threw that remote. He was pissed off. Jeez. But it was real. It was very difficult to play there.
Awful to play on a baseball diamond. Easiest NFL stadium you've played in?
Wow. I want to say Tennessee.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just old memories of, like, I played in Tennessee when I was with the Colts, and they were terrible. So, like, everybody knew, like, this is going to be a great game.
This is an easy one. We're going to pad the stats.
Yeah, it's just going to run the field. Like, this was great. And I don't know what it is. As soon as you sound like, I said, I can remember this great times.
It's the memory that comes up. Biggest misconception about being an NFL player?
Oh, that's difficult. I can't even say that anymore. Oh, yeah, you got me on that one. It's the biggest one.
Biggest misconception. Just something that comes to mind that someone like myself as a fan would assume about a player that is incorrect.
Oh, I got one for you. All D linemen are dumb, and offensive linemen are smart. That's some pretty stupid offensive linemen.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm just going to throw that out there. The first thing come to mind, I mean, some pretty dumb offensive linemen. You go talk to offensive linemen, they're like, oh, D lineman, see ball, get ball.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah. I seen some offensive linemen, I'm like, yeah, you guys are the same way. See ball, block ball.
And last but not least, the most memorable moment in the NFL for you?
Oh, God, I tell people, it's the same thing. I tell kissing Lombardi with my daughter.
Has to be.
It's the most best moment I have, because it's one in a lifetime.
Yeah.
It's a one in a lifetime for her also.
Yeah.
So this one knows, like, I cherish it. We had the photo. It's amazing. That and hitting Tom Brady a couple of times.
That's awesome.
And looking at him.
Yeah.
And I don't think he remembers that. It's a picture online. You can see me sitting over him. And I think after the game, I had a full conversation. Like, you rather throw an interception than take a sack? He's like, yeah.
Yep.
I was like, I hate you.
Yeah, you're a bitch.
I hate you so much right now.
That's amazing. Now we're gonna do this in 60 seconds or less. This is very, very quick off the dome. I want you to build a franchise. All right. I want you to rank the 5 big name quarterbacks you've played with based on who you'd start a franchise with. So how I've seen it, you've played with 6 big ones, but I want you to pick 5. Those 5 are, well, the 6 are Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Andrew Luck, Phillip Rivers, Joe Burrow, Joe Flacco. Even if you've had quick stints. So how would you rank those 5 based off of how you would build a franchise?
Do it again.
Brady, Rodgers, Andrew Luck, Phillip Rivers, Joe Burrow, Joe Flacco. Is that how you
replace Joe Burrow and put him at that 4th spot right there?
You're going to replace him with Phillip Rivers. You're going to put Joe Burrow, Phillip Rivers 5.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your 5.
Yeah, you did. He hit it on the knot.
Subconsciously, when I was writing it, I was making the list too.
Yeah. I'm just going to flip up and put Joe there. Joe's one of those one in a generational player.
Yeah,
hands down. He just is in a bad situation on an organization. Like, if they put him in you put him in the Cowboys. Come on, ain't nobody stopping the Cowboys if you do that. I'm not even a Cowboys fan.
I also wish I could have seen Andrew Luck do more.
Oh, phenomenal.
We didn't even get time to talk about Andrew Luck.
Andrew was so. I can tell you about Andrew. Known him since college, and we did the All-American game in high school. He is a very nice human being. He cared for people. He worked hard. Sometimes the NFL dream, sometimes you have to put a stop to it, and he did it the way he needed to do it at that time. I think the organization did it wrong by putting that information out beforehand. Yeah. But he took that on the chin too. But as a player walked in there, he said, I don't think you remember me. This is who and who. Pleasure to be your teammate. And I was like, I remember exactly who you are. Like, bro, like you elite. I don't know what to tell you, but that's what type of person he is. Wow. Great human being. Like I said, the greatest example, if when they leaked the information that he was leaving and retiring, he took it on the chin and kept it going. It wasn't all like, forget. No, he said, I understand. Yeah. And that's a human being that you want to be by.
Totally. Well, Lawrence, man, this hour has been, I'm very grateful for it because I think I've never had an opportunity growing up to speak with NFL players and people that have put the blood, sweat, and tears on one side and then be able to ask the questions that I've always thought of and wanted to ask. And so you've been incredibly gracious with your time. You've been an open door in sharing things, and you're fucking amazing. And I think just nothing but congratulations on an amazing 14-year NFL career. I think my goal in always doing these is for someone on the other side to be able to see the human and be able to see that all those blood, sweat, and tears meant something more than just what us fans resonate with, which is obviously winning a Super Bowl, or in my case, hoping for a playoff win. So
give everything for the playoff win.
I'll give anything. So Lawrence, you're the man. Really, seriously, I appreciate this.
It was amazing. Even though that you say you're a diehard Patriot fan, it's cool. But yeah, I appreciate you.
Yeah, we can't leak that. We can't.
Yeah, we can. We can just put them. Diehard. It's okay. You should have told me. I would have bought the other helmet for you.
Yeah, you should have. Give me the Patriots helmet. I'll put it on. Lawrence, you're the man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you coming on.